Welcome, Arlington, to a Sunday afternoon. 3 teams left in our tournament, and we have an elimination bracket finals on our hands. We have the biggest rivalry in esports, Optic Gaming versus FaZe Clan. I'm joined by Dave Walsh, the legend himself, and it's an honor to even get an opportunity to be able to cast over these two, especially in this moment in the Green Wall's own building. After losing in the winners bracket finals, Optic trying to rebound. Dave, what makes you think Optic are going to replicate something very similar to what we saw yesterday in the winners bracket that makes you think Optic can beat FaZe Clan twice in one tournament?
I mean, I think Optic can beat FaZe Clan twice in one tournament. I don't think it can be done in that same fashion. The odds of these teams 3-0ing each other in that sort of fashion like we saw yesterday was an absolute statement from Optic Gaming. You know FaZe Clan went back to the drawing board. They reviewed the VODs. You heard that from SnakeBite in his last interview saying, we saw what went wrong, we made some slight adjustments, and we're ready for today. So I don't think we'll be seeing any 3-0s, but with these two squads, I'm just ready to see them battle out here. We're gonna kick it off though on King of the Hill, Solitude.
Well, we've seen 2 series today, 2 game 5s today. Can we make it 3 up there, man? Would that be special for everyone in the building? I know this building is packed with Optic Gaming fans. I know FaZe fans are in there somewhere. These players are gonna wanna hear you roar for them when they're making plays out there as we load up into game 1.
Yeah, as we saw in those stats earlier, both these teams have not dropped the King of the Hill mode yet this event. Which one is going to make that first misstep?
I know we saw a tie in the winners bracket finals, but I guarantee you this will not be a tie. Renegade made his way to camo, found that camo, got away with his life. And now let's see what the Demon can do with the first camo of the series. An easy kill, it's a perfect kill on the Deadzone.
This is already looking so dangerous here from Renegade. One thing that I thought was super interesting as I was looking at Renegade's stats from the last time these two teams matched up is he had the second to worst KD ratio out of all 8 players in the game. However, he had the most damage. So whether or not showing in the KD stats, he is doing work across the map.
Can FaZe figure out ways to find kills early on in this series to gain some momentum? A beautiful kill onto Renegade with that camo from Deadzone. From Renegade's point of view, we were able to see now we're on board with Lucid. The repulse of the grenade keeps him full shield as his teammate acquires some hill time. Optic already back in the lead.
And look at this. Already spotted out 2 players in driveway. That now means FaZe are gonna have to rotate to a new location. Look at this, they're already looking towards gold, they're looking towards market, they're looking towards glass. They know that those players are gonna reposition because if that first push was not successful on driveway, they are not going to stay there.
Lucid finds his first death of the game. He had such a big series yesterday against FaZe. He literally took over. It was the MVP Lucid we know is capable. The world champion Lucid we know he has in him. Can he replicate that level of play? He is starting this series off so well. Now we're back on board with the Demon himself. Top yard, taking some grenade damage, but dealing some more damage out to the Optic members. Optic in a very bad situation. Great shots by Deadzone will help that, but FaZe will win the trades and get in the hill.
My Spartan does not move like that. You saw how he's one shot there, bottom center towards you. I die in that situation 9 out of 9 times.
I've seen it all 9 times, ladies and gentlemen. He is not kidding.
But Renegade somehow having the movement, not only just get over to dip, but move all the way over towards top gold, do so much damage. But despite great movement, despite staying alive longer, TriPPPeY securing this hill. Optic so close to capping the first hill in this game number 1.
SnakeBite steps in for just a second, but SnakeBite gets deleted. The teamwork of Optic stands strong. TriPPPeY back in the hill. TriPPPeY puts Optic Gaming up 1-0. Now the rotation to yards, what you want to pay attention to. TriPPPeY makes his way so quickly with that jump, still using that camo to transition control for Optic to the second hill.
And look at this perimeter defense. TriPPPeY and Optic are not just waiting in yard for FaZe to coordinate their push. They went over, they swept out market completely. Now they know all the pushes are coming from LR and from driveway.
You know it, but can you stop it? FaZe Clan find the door, they kick it open, they control the hill now. They find the first pick onto TriPPPeY as well. They should get some significant time here. Let's see if they can tie it up.
And look at this difference in strategy. Last time when Optic had control of the arc, they pushed over and took hold of market. You see what FaZe are doing here? They took control of LR and Loop. Which strategy is going to play out better? Well, I think they're both viable. It's going to be who hits their shots and who gets the kills.
Immediately, somehow Optic are able to come off spawn, retake yard control, and continue scoring the point. FaZe unable to hold a setup for longer than one spawn rotation. That's got to worry you if you're a FaZe fan. SnakeBite missing those shots right there could be crucial. Formal wins a big pivotal battle that could allow his team some more significant time here on Hill 2.
The old stick the crouch move. It works every so often. I feel like I see it mostly from Boo Boo Doo Boo, but we also see it from every player out the stage from time to time.
Another push from FaZe. Royal 2 does not expect Formal to be hiding under yard. He's able to get great damage. A trade? No. Somehow Formal stays alive. One-on-one against Frosty. Can't quite get another kill, but Formal doing so much. Somehow FaZe still trading out successfully.
And that tie-breaking fight goes in favor of FaZe. They have spawns, and look at this flank. He knows the push is coming from LR. He gets the first pick on Lucid, but gets taken out by TriPPPeY. It's going to go back in the hands of Optic. Royal 2, last one close to the hill. Gets damaged, but not enough.
One shot may make all the difference on this hill. That shot is cleaned up by Renegade. Somehow, though, Optic with the third camo of the game, Formal snuck away with it. Makes his way up through LR. There's going to be pressure coming from yard, but there's a player behind him. Frosty spots him with camo. Formal with shots, but Frosty sits him down.
Usually when you have camo, you're expected to be the one taking the first shot, but right there, Frosty's spotting him out like you said. And this one is anyone's hill. This isn't trading back and forth as much as you see like it's something like bottom center or closer towards hotel. Instead, you can get a round of kills and hold this whole area entirely. So Frosty and the FaZe clan are not out of this hill just yet.
Optic know that this is their one push to break another FaZe setup. Unfortunately for Optic, TriPPPeY gets taken down. Frosty looking to be aggressive towards you. The thrust can't allow him to get an angle on the kill. Deadzone being such a difficult target, but multiple members of Optic across the map following. Lucid tries to help. Lucid gets erased. Optic, all on respawn, will not have an opportunity to get back to this hill. This game will be tied up.
They are going to have to give this one up and try to go for kills and control. If Optic tried to just desperately push across the map, they're going to lose a significant chunk in hill number 3. And just like you called out there, Wes, it is now a tie game, but all 4 members of FaZe died there.
Another great rotation from Optic to give them some early time on the hill. That can be so beneficial to how you're able to play, especially now that there's 2 minutes left on the clock. This is a very contestable hill. How long will this hill last? Optic have intentions of pushing this one through fast. Already over a third of the way.
Yeah, getting so much time here. TriPPPeY, uncertain of where the battle is, finds 2 members up near the snipe. Little bait switch there from Frosty and SnakeBite's going to secure the kill and keep them both alive.
I believe the term is bit off a little bit more than you could chew with that push, and with that, snipe control and map control will go over to FaZe. Still members being a nuisance over towards blue. It's Formal once again, winning a pivotal fight. Unfortunately, he's cleaned up. Deadzone able to trade out that Formal kill, so a great job by Formal to be a distraction. Renegade now trying to capitalize on Deadzone revealing his location. Renegade with this camera wants to stay alive, but overextends bottom mid, thrust forward. Still a nuisance. No one can quite finish Deadzone though, and somehow Deadzone is still impacting the game until Frosty rips his head off with the shock.
Deadzone did so much right there, taking out his former teammate Renegade when they used to team together on SSG, staying alive, getting a second kill, and just buying so much time for his team to move across the map. Despite FaZe having control there, they got 0 time in that hill.
But look, this is what I was talking about. A minute now on the clock, half of the hill towards Optic. FaZe have no progression. This may be the final point scored in this game if FaZe do not find a way to get this capture. Optic are fine playing time with this much of an advantage.
Yeah, they're just going to worry about kills, get the slaves, because this game could very much be decided by this hill right here. No need to desperate it. This is also going to be one of those situations where you almost don't want to scrap up the last couple seconds if there's a significant amount of time left on the clock, but I don't think time is going to be in abundance here at the end of this game, Wes.
Not at all. 38 seconds on the clock. Optic Gaming fighting from the hill with all of these trades going on has benefited them immensely. 60% of the hill now in their favor. The point is what matters. 30 seconds starting to tick as the hill becomes neutralized. FaZe over towards the side can deny this hill, but they have so much work to do as far as progression. If they want to be the ones that score this point, they will need to nearly play perfect. Optic are going to have a couple of members fall here. FaZe will have map control. They need to stay in the hill.
They realize it's just going to be a full setup here. FaZe are not in a scrappy situation. Sure, they grab a little bit of time here and there if they wanted to, but they need to over-index and Slain if they want to guarantee this hill. This is a dangerous time here for Renegade. Look at this, before he takes any damage, pushing over towards Market. Gonna try to stay alive as long as possible for his teammates to spawn, but TriPPPeY, or I believe that was Deadzone, going over and stiffing him out.
The teamwork of Optic, the flooding of Optic, the blue is perfect. There's 3 players from Optic in the hill right now. They know if they fight from the hill, they will win this game. That player does not expose himself at all, so it forces SnakeBite to push. He's unable to push, and now 5 seconds are on the clock, and the hill is moved.
Enemy team took
Gotta play a little bit of something called perfect halo here if FaZe want to cap this 4th hill and just tie it, but this is gonna be a little tough. One of the more exposed hills here. All these players from Optic can go towards bomb center, or they can take their time to go through a flank route, just like we saw from Formal. Melee's come out, 3 players go down, and that's gonna be game number 1. Going in favor of Optic Gaming.
Game 1 goes to Optic. It came down to time and the scrappiness of both of these teams. The turnover of every single one of those hills is why that game went so long with so few captures. Neither team really able to hold a setup. It benefits Optic at the end because that 3rd hill, Dave, they were playing from the hill while trading kills, and that minor progression that you continue to stack on top of each other gave them the advantage they needed.
I feel like in the past, this player Deadzone's been called out for maybe not getting as many kills, but who's leading the scoreboard right there? That's gonna be 20 kills in favor of Deadzone, making an absolute statement, trying to get his team back in the grand finals.
You have to believe Deadzone's dream is to join this team and start on what they believe is a championship tour this year in 2024. That series in the winners finals needs to be erased from your memory. Your dream is still achievable, and he is showing that he is one step further in the direction of a rematch in the grand finals. Deadzone leading the lobby in kills. And now we focus on game 2. It's gonna be a Slayer. Optic Gaming getting such a convincing win yesterday and then winning game 1. What does that do to their confidence against this FaZe Clan roster going to the rest of the series?
I mean, starts them off on the right path. The one thing that's still just mind-blowing to me is how heavily focused both these teams were on Slays. They did not want to get into an all 4 down scenario. I think they just respect the other team so much that they're saying, we do not want to let them get their full setup, their full power, over-index on the Slain side. Obviously, in game number 2, Slain's the name of the game, but I was still just overwhelmed and surprised by how much Slain we saw in game 1.
Aquarius Slayer is the name of the game for game 2. And Dave, when you're on FaZe's side, in your perspective, you come all the way from the elimination bracket after what Optic did to you in the winners bracket, the beatdown that occurred yesterday, that 3-0, to lose game 1 in such a close fashion, 2-1, it goes down to time. Are you frustrated going into game 2, or does that stall the momentum you've built through that elimination bracket run?
No, I mean, we're talking about FaZe here. They have countless tournament wins. These guys have just the perfect mental game. They're able to take it game by game. They can lose a very close one and bounce right back. So I'm not worried about their mental here. I'm just worried about them being able to try to stop Optic. Right now, it's not a case of, is FaZe playing poorly? Is something going wrong there? It's just great play from this Optic side, taking out that game number 1.
Optic responding to that loss in the winners bracket final so well to take down FaZe in game 1. Game 2, will it be a different story? There's an overshield bottom pink. It's newly added to the map. There's a thrust top middle. And those are going to be some key pivotal items that you really want to see help dictate the outcome of this game. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a reset here. The battle, though, for Camo was early won by FaZe. You saw Renegade had...
He just, like, ran up and grabbed it. That never works for me when I'm playing ranked these days. I get lit up.
Yeah, usually there's 3 people staring at me, so not quite sure what the communication... Maybe it was a counter strat situation where you know what the other team does, so familiar, right? But I feel like in the mid-game, it was continuously TriPPPeY that was picking up those camouflages, Deadzone, and they were being such a nuisance, creating so much havoc with those camos that gave them that opportunity to just get a little bit more hill time, to have that map control, to win that game in this, or in the end. This overshield is going to be pivotal for FaZe, and I think that was something we saw them struggle trying to acquire yesterday when they played Optic, were power-ups and power weapons. What are FaZe Clan failing to do right when it comes to these situational fights that they need to figure out a way to win as these power-ups are coming up.
I mean, there's different ways you can look at, especially when it comes to an overshield, where whoever grabs that generally can pop that and get the advantage. You know, camos in a power-up where you have to give it some more space and be able to activate it and get away with it. You have to stay alive, whereas overshield allows you to stay alive.
Yeah.
Now, some ways you can kind of look at that is sometimes it's kind of like these layers of onions of how close you are to that power-up. Some people are right next to it. They're going to be the ones that can first grab that. But then the people that can counter them are the ones that are just a little bit closer. It's sort of this mind game of like, how far in proximity do you have to be a part of the fight, but also not be flanked by the opposing team? And that's just sort of that mind game and understanding what's the spawns
Keeping
situation.
tabs on everyone.
Yeah, keeping tabs on everyone, just having a good macro view of the map, saying, I can be right here, do as much damage, and not be at risk to help on this power-up. And so there's times we see some of these players that are just, in effect, not part of that power-up fight, and sometimes people are just crowded in and getting killed right before it comes up.
I can promise you, someone who is messing with the tabs on everyone issue for FaZe right now has got to be Deadzone, the newly acquired player for Optic. He has completely changed their play style, in my opinion, to a much more aggressive roster. We're on board with Deadzone in game 2, and he's already making his way to that overshield.
I'm glad you highlighted that aggressiveness. I felt like there was times last year where we would watch Optic, and it felt like they were either just a little too reserved or scared. They would all want to just run together in one area here on Aquarius. Whereas we're going to have to see if that changes here.
God.
Yeah, that peak shot from Royal 2, just using that heat wave to negate that OS completely. So despite OS going in the hands of Optic, FaZe able just to delete that advantage.
The jiggle peaks, the micro movement for Royal 2 allows him to be such a difficult target, doing so much damage with that heat wave. Overshield negated. It is still a 4-3 lead for Optic Gaming right now. The map is split in half. A couple of members of Optic trying to push the utility closet right now. One's flanking car one. A beautiful job by Deadzone.
Great job by Deadzone there. The other person we're going to have to really keep our eye on in this map is going to be Renegade. One thing I was so impressed with him when it came to Worlds 2023, it was just his ability to be kind of that flanker. And like I said, have that delicate dance, being a factor and charging across the map so that you can help your team collapse on somebody, but also staying far enough away where you're not just getting 2-on-1, giving them that free first kill in a neutral scenario.
SnakeBite is by himself here on this flag right now. He is playing in a cheeky corner, playing it slow and for information, none being given to him at the time. But Optic, well, they expect him to be here. They've actually chosen to rotate across the map. It looks like a couple of members will be trying to push pink, but SnakeBite doing a phenomenal job of slowing the game down and anchoring the space.
Partially slowing it down, anchoring it, but also just allowing someone from Optic to make a mistake. Sometimes it's early game. People are just going to try to charge across, try to make something happen. And that veteran leadership just saying, all right, I can just allow windows of opportunity for somebody to overstep. Someone just make that first little mistake and get that first kill.
We're not seeing it from his point of view, but Tommy Wilson is frying right now. Lucid with a beautiful 5 on the SnakeBite there. Gets his team a little bit of control right now. 11-9 the scoreline. The second overshield already coming up, and right now Optic have so many members down. Pick one. TriPPPeY tries to go for it. He gets taken down. Deadzone erased as well. FaZe not only get the kills, but they get the overshield and map control with it.
Those little engagements and exchanges back and forth are such an important fight. And right there, FaZe not only just winning it, but also getting to walk away with this OS. Trading damage right back and forth there. I like that from Deadzone onto SnakeBite. Sometimes teams and players just avoid the OS completely, and somebody at some point has to fight them.
SnakeBite gets caught out, having 2 members try to push into the base and get taken down. FaZe tried to push the respawners of Optic. It fails miserably. Optic have not given up a death since that push. They've been able to stagger the respawners of FaZe, and now they look to push into the base themselves.
And here comes the charge. They have the numbers advantage, but a great grenade equalizes so much right there. In the end, a 2-for-2, Royal 2, SnakeBite, Deadzone, and TriPPPeY all going to the respawn screen. And all of a sudden, you see Optic kind of on the back foot, all trapped in this util. Can TriPPPeY become a part of the fight quick enough? Answer is no. His teammate's fallen. Now he's just going for cleanup.
Cleanups he might get. He only gets one though. SnakeBite with some perfect shots on the TriPPPeY will erase that flank from impacting too much. It is still a 5-kill game. So although FaZe Clan did trade successfully there, they are playing catch up still. 23-18. Make it 19. World 2 with the kill and the feed on the Lucid. SnakeBite spots 2 players on bridge, and the bandit teamwork from Optic erases SnakeBite.
One thing that's so brilliant about that play right there that we saw the double team onto SnakeBite for was two members of Optic, they focused on a faraway spot, knowing that somebay that's an anchor on FaZe are going to overextend because they have the numbers advantage. So they're saying, hey, as soon as this person pops up towards top center or bottom center, melt this target far away, and then we can focus on the nearby threats.
3 members of FaZe go down, 27-20 Optic Gaming using phenomenal teamwork to continue to build this lead back up to 6 now. Overshield is up in the hands of TriPPPeY. I want to go into a listen in with Optic Gaming and see how they treat the mid game.
Car one shot.
Chop with P, one chop with P in the fridge,
I'm trying to look at Joey. Take car, Yo, Jen, Joey, two guys.
One guy P2, John.
Guys, listen, run our shit together, okay?
Yeah, we're good. We're chill.
Thrust was up, guys.
P2 weak, and they're gonna be in our closet, man.
Yeah, new thrust still up.
I spawn blue.
When's going out?
No, bait, thrust for a second. Aimbot, thrust for a
Looking at it.
On it.
I can look at it. Where's he going?
It's like P1 or something.
Watch out P1. Watch out for yellow. Absolutely for yellow.
And Yellow Street, Joey, have shields.
I got one.
Yellow Street, Joey. I needed
I
that.
don't see anything, man.
Stay down, Joey. I'm watching.
It's right here, weak on the car jump.
Look at that. Blue car jump.
I don't see him. He's car one. Still here, roll two.
Car one shot.
That's
One more. Roll two, our car jump.
One shot.
There was a guy still fridge. He was fridge. Plug thrust.
One shot goes.
Here, Joey.
Hiding fridge. Hiding yellow or blue?
Yo, throw this game, Joey. Yo, behind us. Watch out, P2.
P2, absolutely.
Yo, we got blue spots. Blue fridge. Blue.
Watch out P1. Snipe,
Okay.
You guys blue street.
He's one shot. One more.
I'm coming, Matt. I'm going.
P2.
Looking at you.
P2.
He's weak on you, Matt. One shot. Nice.
I spawn blue gen.
I'll block.
P2 and P1.
But you on Yellow Street, Joe. Yellow Street. Two guys.
Get your shield.
One shot.
I'm hiding here, guys. I'm just waiting.
I'm walking
Looking
part
at
two.
you. I'm walking P1. I'm walking P2.
Alright, I'm going around.
Yellow closet.
Yellow gen.
Now, how do you yellow fridge? Can we go the yellow fridge?
Yeah, we can.
Yo, you guys can go car one right now. You guys can go car one.
Yellow gen bridge. 2 weak yellow gen bridge.
Guys, in the fridge weak. Can we kill this guy? He's going P2 now, Matt. Be there. Two on Matt.
Also,
P jump. Blue P jump.
Two percent right now.
Look. Yo, P1. I got one.
P2.
Stay front yellow. Stay front yellow.
Car one guys. Car one, bottom middle, inside, bottom middle.
Yeah, bottom mid, one shot.
That's 2 dead. OB and 5.
Yo, yellow fridge.
Yellow fridge.
Look at P1.
One shot, yellow pre-tree.
Yellow fire. Yo, P2.
Yo, yellow fridge door. Yellow P door.
Really big kill.
2 yellow.
Get out, Joey.
Two yellow P guys. 2 yellow P.
I didn't get it. I burned anything. It's still down.
P1, one shot. SnakeBite. One shot P1. On the vent. Hiding on the vent, P1. Towards blue.
They got it. Yo, we have a combo, right? Yeah.
P1. Joe, they're going yellow closet behind Matt.
Hear that.
Hiding
Look at car 2. Yeah, get out. You guys, yeah, they saw Matt.
Yo, Obi's in there. Yeah, I want to get out with this combo a little
We're
bit.
gonna keep you left.
You guys should like kind of leave me a little bit.
I am.
I only want one guy near me. One of you should stay close.
Here come FaZe Clan. They picked up the overshield once again, not only getting the kills, but the overshield as well. Now Optic in a very difficult position here. Here is Frosty across the bridge, able to find the first opening pick. That's a big one to give you numbers advantage, but Optic have always stayed strong in these situations. We'll see if it happens here.
Yeah, their defenses hold strong, but how many losses can they mitigate here? They had a 6 or 7 kill lead, now just down to 3 points.
They've always managed to get it back up to 6 since multiple times throughout this game. It's gotten to 3, but now down to 2. FaZe Clan and their ice starting to show here in the elimination bracket finals. Game 2 is a must-win for FaZe to try and tie this series up. 39-40, down 1 kill.
And here comes the push. They know there's some action over here at Pink. SnakeBite and Renegade trying to fight. They're both so weak. TriPPPeY somehow sneaking over the table, but Deadzone gets both of those kills and the cleanup, which is so needed. Stopping those players from just being able to regain their shield and fight another day has been such a success story here for the Optic Game roster. Every single time they get someone weak from FaZe, they seem to have the angle. They seem to have somebody in position to finish off the week.
3-kill game, overshield in 15 right now. The map's about split. Deadzone with some good damage onto some players towards Car, but they know that the pressure is Pink. The focus has got to be this overshield. 5 seconds, and Lucid with an untimely death gives FaZe Clan the opportunity to push.
What a great play here from Deadzone. He bought so much time. He had 3 players over towards that pink side of blue and bought as much time being that anchor. So they had to spend a lot of resources to get that 1 kill.
Yeah, but
in the end, the reward with the OS, so we're gonna have to see if it pays off.
The overshield goes to Frosty, 46-44. Optic Gaming in the lead, but just by 2 kills. 4 kills for Optic in this game. Frosty with this overshield gets dwindled down a bit from the players in the utility. Optic see Frosty, they overextend towards the opposite side of the map. FaZe are split, Optic are together.
Yes, and they charge across, and this has been done so well here by Optic, realizing that they're going to remove the most powerful player from the game. in that last fight. They charged across, they went 2 for 2, and now only 2 kills away here for Optic Gaming.
48-46, the game turns to a stalemate. No one can make the mistake. If FaZe get an opportunity to go man up, you guarantee there will be a push coming. Formal still with the heat wave. It's like he's had it all game, playing a close corner. If FaZe walk into this trap, Optic will win this game.
He's also done such a great job just kind of having his back pocket. Think about that time where he baited Renegade over and towards the fridge and just got that.
He's not
easy
showing
finish.
it immediately.
He's not giving up that information. They're having to find out once they're up close and personal. Look at this. Optic deciding to make the first move, but they've been spotted out. Player weak.
Renegade goes down.
How does FaZe take advantage of this? They got 1 for 1. Only 1 kill away, and Formal decided to get up close and personal, decided to push across enemy lines, finds SnakeBite, and gets the final kill.
Formal makes a play instead of waiting for FaZe to make a mistake, and he punches Optic's ticket to a 2-0 lead in the elimination finals. A much different story than what we saw against SSG. Optic starting to clutch these games out. The pressure not affecting them at all. World champions, we know them as, and they're showing why they want a chance to play SSG for a championship in their own house.
Looking at the scoreboard again.
SnakeBite.
Surprise, surprise. We got SnakeBite at the top, but also Deadzone for the 2nd time in a row, leading his team in kills. I wonder if he got that name because everything he looks at just ends up dead or shot across the map. Deadzone happens to be in his reticle.
Look at the damage as we take a look at the highlights, Dave. 5,800 from SnakeBite, 5,500 from Deadzone. That is unbelievable amount of damage on a map like Aquarius with no power weapons. And we definitely didn't see, I feel like, either one of them with the heat wave. It was Formal that had it the whole time. Unbelievable how those two performed in that game, but Deadzone does just enough for Optic to have a 2-0 lead in this series. And as close as these games are, FaZe feel like they're miles away from a grand finals at this point.
They got their work cut out for them, losing 2 very close games here to Optic. They put themselves in a do or die situation. Reverse sweep or your tournament run ends here. And we're gonna be going into a newer mode here, a newer map, I should say, with CTF Forbidden. We haven't really seen them playing this much here on the main stage. I think we've maybe only seen it once or twice on broadcast thus far.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't see it much yesterday, so it's great that it finds itself as game 3 here in our elimination finals. FaZe Clan versus Optic with a map with 2 snipes on it. Give me that every day of the week because we know plays are going to be made. We know how this game's gonna go. Formal's gonna get a snipe, Lucid's gonna get a snipe, Royal 2, Frosty, they're gonna pop off. Who are you looking at to have the game that either punches your ticket to a grand finals or gets you to at least a game 4 in this series?
I mean, obviously all the pressure is here on FaZe at this moment in time. I mean, if Optic just keep playing how they're playing, keep on rolling through, they're gonna end up with a second 3-0, which I didn't think was possible against FaZe within this tournament. However, you gotta wonder here, on the FaZe side, who is going to step it up? When I saw Frosty and crew playing earlier today against Rebellion, I saw them playing without fear. I saw some ridiculous play. I saw them repulsing up into the air, going for snipes and hitting them. I'm not seeing that level of freedom or confidence coming out of Frosty or FaZe at this point in time.
I think it's slightly because of Optic's changing play style with Deadzone. At this point, Optic feel like they are a completely different team from last year. The pace that they are playing with clearly giving FaZe a thorn in their side. 5 straight games against the world champs, and we'll see if we can make it a 6th for a perfect back-to-back sweep and a chance at a grand finals appearance. But Optic Gaming, everything they have done in these games against FaZe, even yesterday, including the 2 today, has been nothing short of phenomenal. Halo.
Yeah, I mean, these top 3 squads here that we have in our tournament right now are still so insanely close. I wasn't sure if going in this event, if we were just gonna see one of these teams like FaZe just sweep everybody and just establish dominance right out the gate. Clearly not the case. All these teams so evenly matched. You've seen SSG and Optic go to game 5. You're now seeing Optic edging out FaZe in this 2-0 lead, potentially for a second sweep this event.
Royal 2 with a higher KD ratio than Formal throughout this series, but Formal with more damage, Formal with more kills. You have to think Formal being more aggressive is what that stat is showing you, and that aggressiveness is clearly being felt when we're looking at how these games are being played out.
Yeah, there's just something a little different about Optic this season compared to last season.
I think it's Deadzone.
It could be Deadzone. It could just be they've understood they need to get a little more aggression in their play. I felt like before there's this fine line between playing defensive and scared.
Yes.
And I feel like they almost were consistently putting themselves in spots where people weren't enabled to make plays that they saw or felt like they could just run across. It felt like a little too rigid. It felt like a little too structured. And you can't have that when things get a little wild within Halo.
At times, it's always risk versus reward. And are you willing to take some risks in order to reap the rewards of what they give you? Formal pushing Pink 1 there was a massive risk. If he gets caught out, that game is 49-49. Formal finds the kill, though, and that risk wins the game. So Formal, the rest of Optic, I like seeing them take a little bit more risk. I like seeing the aggressiveness out of them, and with that, I like seeing them play at this level of Halo because they are going to be very difficult to beat. They seem to have found them some momentum here so far throughout this elimination finals, but the job isn't done. And if anybody knows the hardest thing to do is to close a series against FaZe, it is this Optic Gaming team. I am looking at them to not keep this door open long. This needs to be a sweep. Let's make some statements in this game 3. It's gonna be forbidden CTF. There's an overshield top middle, 2 snipes. And you can best believe we're gonna see some headshots with those as this thing loads up.
For those that are new to this map, maybe not familiar with what's the main strategy here, you're going to be seeing these teams try to secure the other team's snipe hut. You want to control that area as you have better viewpoints. You can control the spawns and then run the flag over towards that snipe hut / sewer side.
Royal 2, he's making his way to snipe. You already know that. Several members of FaZe choosing to push towards the snipe. No one quite going for the overshield at the early break, but it will look like Optic are in a better position at this time unless Royal 2 has something to say about it.
Yeah, Royal 2 not taking his eyes off of that until he knows one of his teammates has it in their hands. Realizing that still nobody's over at that snipe hut. There he spots the player, TriPPPeY trying to go for that OS pull. You aren't gonna get that for free. And look at this. Look at this jiggle peek. It somehow gets away with it. Lucid grabbing the OS. I believe Lucid also has the sniper. And this can be a little dangerous because when snipers coming over that close to your flag, Royal 2 can't be that relaxed.
Renegade does pick up a big kill there onto Deadzone. This overshield continuing as time goes on to dwindle. A body shot from Lucid onto Royal 2 isn't good enough to acquire the kill, but it does suppress him back. SnakeBite is going to look to be aggressive here. Multiple members of FaZe overextend towards Optic Gaming side of top middle. That has allowed them to get all of this pressure on Lucid. Lucid needs to hit the shot. The body shot hits, but the stick is great. The flag is on the move, and the overextension from Renegade may give FaZe an early lead.
Optic had the better power-ups. However, they didn't put themselves in the better position. Renegade and FaZe only needed 1 round of slays to get that flag and move it all the way across the map. Objective efficiency, you know I love to see that.
What an unbelievable flag pull as the kills are coming through from Renegade and the boys on FaZe. Since then, we'll see if Optic are able to use this map control. FaZe had to give up to cap that flag in order to get some flag moves of their own. Right now, Renegade was the last player alive. Still staying alive in his hut is a massive job by him to be a presence on the map right now because Optic would have surely pushed.
And look at this difference. You saw how during that unsuspecting neutral scenario, FaZe were able to just get 1 round of slays, get the flagpole, and cap it without much resistance. Whereas Optic, they had 3 members of FaZe down, and they weren't even able to get close to that flag. Instead, they're still giving up deaths. They're still trying to fight for their lives over here. And this overshield's just getting picked apart. TriPPPeY taken down.
Although Optic get the second overshield of the game as well, no kills found, no damage found from TriPPPeY. He was by himself, and unfortunately, all the members of FaZe decided to focus on to him, so he gets taken down. A great defensive stand by FaZe, and with a 1-0 lead, plenty of time on the clock right now, but you got to feel a lot better than any time in the series so far if you're FaZe.
I can tell you right now, Renegade is looking dangerous this game. The little bit that I've seen of his POV, the times where I've seen him just flying across the map, grabbing flag right away, he's doing a little bit of everything. The other thing that also seems to be very complimentary here is, especially off the start, you saw someone like Royal 2 just holding their hut very well.
Flag on the move for Optic right now. 3 were down. SnakeBite, the last player alive, he's in the hut, but he's not going to be able to stop this. Optic are going to get this flag cap. FaZe Clan coming off respawn. Optic do such a good job to find the kills. There is going to be some damage on the Formal, however. Renegade trying to deny this one. Does stop it at the goal line. Is anyone there from Optic? Yes. Deadzone punches it in.
But 3 down for a moment in time for Optic. Can FaZe get the kills and put the squeeze on? Looks like they do. They have a lot of damage and they're pushing this towards sewer. This is the preferred route for most of these teams. Royal 2 running all the way down. And that is dangerous there for Optic. I love this spot here from Royal 2. Taking his time, getting his shields back, let his teammate on the bridge, just lay down shots. And just as soon as Optic were feeling comfortable, they're gonna lose that lead. No longer are they tied. Instead, we're gonna see Royal 2 and FaZe put this one in, but
no. Look at this. Look at this. Respawners from FaZe will be there to help Royal 2, but Overshield on its way up, and Royal 2 needs to find a kill. He can't quite take down Lucid. 4 members of Optic now will swarm the FaZe base and try to get this return.
And look at this. This fight is going to be so crucial here for Renegade and FaZe. If they can clear out their hut, they don't have to be as worried about the flag. Even though Formal and Deadzone still on their flag, not as big of a threat in those positions. And look at this. Overshield getting deleted. Deadzone taken down. And that flag is stopped.
But the return comes through from Optic Gaming. That Overshield does its job. You keep this at a 1-to-1 game.
Yeah, at least it doesn't spiral any further than that. I thought that flag was certainly going in for FaZe, but great defensive play by Optic to secure those kills and just fly across the map. Also great play by Royal 2, not just to force that in and try to go in a race against a sniper on the bridge.
Yeah, he wanted to get a kill, couldn't get a kill, and because of that, that just gave Optic the numbers and the overshield control that they used in order to get that return. 1-to-1 now, the pressure continuing to build on the backs of FaZe as they are down 0-2 in this series. Every single spawn is going to matter from here on out. Great damage from the battle rifle here. You love to see the utility of some of the other weapons on the map be used. The battle rifle key to some of the long-range combat advantages you can have over the bandit.
Yep, just using that crossfire and doing such a great job, but keep in mind, their #1 focus right here is holding this hut. You see this damage coming from Lucid and Formal. Damage has been laid out. I expect them to charge on in, and here comes the push. Formal getting the first kill on Renegade. They know SnakeBite's still somewhere around here. They want to secure this hut before they run that flag. In fact, they're gonna do both at the same time. That's 3 down. Renegade, the only one alive.
Renegade, the last player alive. 3 members of Optic here on this flagpole, next to the flagpole, suppressing the rest of FaZe. TriPPPeY through the tunnel is gonna have a straight line shot here to cap this one. Nobody on FaZe is gonna say anything about this cap, and TriPPPeY gives Optic the lead in game 3.
And what a time to do it. You get to go back to play defense with your sniper, but Frosty hitting the fadeaway.
4 dead.
And now FaZe have a chance to answer. Royal 2 going all the way over to block. That's one. SnakeBite going to get the pull. Gonna get started, but he's gonna meet some resistance. How does he decide to play this one? Looks like he decides to go for the kills. Get a little more damage out there, but this fight's taking longer than he wants.
2-on-2 now, Optic versus FaZe right now. The flag is out, but nobody on FaZe there to get a pull, I believe. You do see Renegade trying to get a touch. Frosty's still with the snipe, so far back on the map, not able to help Renegade in this situation. Renegade does touch the flag, but he's gonna opt to slay. Frosty looking for overextenders from Optic. He knows that Optic are spawning in the back of their base.
Yeah, he would have already heard the call out that there's this many players over at a certain position, so he knows there has to be a flanker coming out from somewhere. Flag slowly moving, but you gotta wonder, did Frosty put himself completely out of this fight?
TriPPPeY got through.
In fact, and somehow TriPPPeey gets the flank. The long flank from TriPPPeey gets the back smack on the sniper.
TriPPPeey got through the timing window that Frosty missed. You saw the icon of TriPPPeey going below, and TriPPPeey takes the long flank, gets the assassination onto Frosty.
And you know he's never even expecting that. He's so far back, he said, I've watched this. There's only like a split second I wasn't looking down there. There's no chance someone could have slipped by. But that perfect timing from TriPPPeey, and TriPPPeey going the long, long route all the way around to take out that sniper.
SnakeBite wins the one-on-one onto TriPPPeey, but he gets focused immediately, traded out by Optic Formal. Renegade trying to be sneaky up the tunnel. Once again, taken down by Optic Formal. A big couple of kills will allow Optic to breathe a little bit better in their base.
Feels like a couple individual pushes there, whereas when we're seeing Optic push in towards a hut, we'll see two members flying by, as we've seen like Formal and Lucid pushing towards a snipe hut, whereas it feels like a couple individual efforts there. We saw SnakeBite fall on his own. You saw Renegade trying to push up through that sewer. We're not seeing the same level of coordination on these offensive pushes from FaZe as we've been seeing successfully from Optic.
As time builds, the pressure builds. FaZe starting to feel it more and more. 3 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock. A 2-1 lead for Optic Gaming, and FaZe need to figure out a way to be a little bit more cohesive as this game will start to conclude.
And time is the name of the game here. Optic are going to be perfectly fine just trading out slays if they get the option. This next sniper could decide everything, because look at this already. Two members of Optic staying over at the snipe hub, trying to stay alive. Renegade maybe a little bit early, but gets the kill on Lucid. He has early aggressive pressure on this hut. Royal 2 coming in for help as well. Can't get the kills, that's all dead. This could be a pull. We know where this flag's gonna go. Bring it over towards Renegade.
Can you suppress the respawners of Optic long enough for SnakeBite to move this flag? 5 shots will suppress Lucid back to the death cam. Renegade wasting snipe ammo, that flag on the move. And this is going to be a cap from FaZe Clan. Nobody from Optic choosing to overextend up the ramp, and because of it, SnakeBite has the go. 2-2 now. FaZe will tie this game 3 up.
Not just only tie this game up, but keep in mind, Renegade threw off the sniper there from Optic side. So FaZe should have a sniper of their own. Despite that though, Frosty, Royal 2 both falling. Lucid grabbing this flag, moving it down. 2 players in the courtyard, they're so weak, but there's no angles. That's one of the danger parts. SnakeBite somehow gets over there. Does Formal run this, or does Formal go for the slays? He has the only sniper left on the map.
Frosty needs to get an angle. He's on the plat. He is the one shooting Formal currently. Formal forced into a difficult situation here. A lot of pressure on the kid. He gets taken down. The snipe out of his hands. The flag, that one's dead. There's still 2 members down for FaZe, make it 3, and TriPPPeY smells blood in the water. He's pushing up the tunnel, blocking these spawns, but he has his eyes on the flag.
Yes, blocking the spawns. Can't even run this way. He's running it right to Frosty and Royal 2, and this is going to be stopped. Now they just have to get the slays. Also, doesn't even know where other players could potentially spawn. This is such an unorthodox run. They're trying to slay and run the flag at the same time. Kind of reminds me of that saying, building and flying the plane at the same time.
Lucid gets taken down. He had the overshoot. That overshoot gets deleted, but 3 members of FaZe are still coming off respawn. TriPPPeY, with that flag in hand, has a snipe in his back pocket, but he's gonna opt to run this flag. Gets it across to the pistol. It's over halfway. TriPPPeY trying to take it down the ramp. Wants to slide for a second. Misses the shot on the Renegade. Goes back for the touch, but falls into the courtyard. Knocked to no shield. TriPPPeY can no longer run this flag.
TriPPPeY has to stay in slay. Somehow Renegade knows where he is at. That's 2 members down, and FaZe know they cannot let this one go. Looks like Royal 2 sits on the recov, and you gotta wonder, that slightly missed shot, that could have turned into a complete different scenario. Now flag being pulled out for FaZe.
Oh my.
What a shift of momentum this goes through. Lucid trying to buy all his time. They have 2 members there from FaZe trying to stop Lucid and pick him off. They finally get the kill, but who goes to this flagpole? Where is this push gonna come from Optic?
2 members of Optic trying to defend this flagpole. There's a player right behind the flag. SnakeBite able to trade with that player. It's 1 member that was still remaining, making it Formal, trying to defend this flag, playing in a cheeky spot, but they know he's there. The pings come true. The assist from Royal 2 will give Renegade the kill. That flag still shortly returning. Royal 2 trying to decide, can he go for a push? Does he have the window? Multiple members of Optic coming off respawn will take him down and hop the return.
Looks like we're just gonna go straight to an OT. I mean, there's a small chance that if Optic wanted to overextend and try to get an OT pull here, but this one looks like both teams are gonna be just going into OT, relaxing off a brand new fresh start, and these teams going to be more evenly matched here on Forbidden CTF.
Back and forth, those final battles went. Put 5 minutes on the clock, Dave. Let's play first to 1 here. Winner can extend the series or find themselves in the grand finals. Deadzone looking to be very aggressive here. An untraditional route. He will have an early flank on the FaZe, and they have no idea it's coming.
Yep, and FaZe being a little more aggressive, getting 2 picks, and we saw this from Renegade last time he got an OS. He grabbed that flag, and he did not slow down. Looks like he's pulling it over towards Hut side, but realizes needs to get a kill. Lucid right in front of him.
Two dead.
Gets the pick with Frosty. Now does he run it or does he slay? Looks like he's gonna let his other teammate grab that flag as he is just gonna get some information.
That flag's still not on the move, Dave. FaZe are choosing to slay right now. TriPPPeY will have FaZe's snipe, I believe, in their snipe, so he's across the map on an overextension. We saw the impact TriPPPeY was able to have with a very similar play. Renegade pushing into the back of Optic Gaming's base. No one's still moving this flag, but they will have man advantage on the map.
Yeah, it looks like Frosty's gonna be able to get this touch. Looks like not actually. Lucid getting the pick, so Renegade, although he's been staying alive, he has not been able to really progress this flag any further, and this one's going to return kind of even footing, and you know Optic got to feel okay about that.
Yeah.
But one thing they don't feel okay about is Renegade still in their hut. As long as Renegade is in the hut, especially with this weapon, they cannot rest easy.
FaZe were in a 4-on-2 with the flag already out. How did they not get it on the move? Well, no time to think about that just yet. Renegade still with snipe in hand, rips the head off of one, gives his team a 4-on-2 advantage again. Lucid with the peak shots will take down Renegade on the overchow there. Lucid able to stay alive, will release some of the pressure, and maybe Optic can get off their back feet for this overtime round.
Yeah, but here comes the push. TriPPPeY and Lucid, the duo, pushing their hut, and now they can relax for a little bit. The last minute or so, they could not breathe, holding their breath there, because as people are in your hut, that is where the flag caps happen. But Renegade decided to take a little bit of a different route this time, realizing too much resistance at hut. Also meeting equal resistance by Formal over at the main ramp.
Optic with another overshield in the hands of TriPPPeY. Shortly, it's getting deleted. SnakeBite is going to take a ton of damage, and a stick to the feet. It's a double for TriPPPeY and the rest of Optic Gaming. They are able to finally eliminate TriPPPeY, but Optic Gaming, for the first time in this overtime, feel like they're being the aggressor and have a little bit of control to play around.
Yep, they have the advantage now, dodging that grenade right there. But you gotta wonder, is Optic gonna take over this opposite hut? That's their main target. Too late. SnakeBite, Royal 2 already over in the hut. But TriPPPeY, can he do something with his miraculous flanks? He's done it before. Can he do it again?
Flag gets pulled. Everyone from Optic advanced on the map right now. FaZe need to find the kills. SnakeBite and Frosty do so tremendously. 3 go down for FaZe, however. Frosty, the last player alive, knocked to no shield. The flag's still on the move, and that could be the kill that does it. The kill that kills FaZe Clan. Formal with the flag up the tunnel. Overextenders are the only thing Optic Gaming have to worry about as Formal takes it in. He takes shots, but not enough. Formal cap the flag and punch Optic Gaming's ticket to the grand finals.
Venue is donned in green here for St. Paddy's Day and for Optic's second sweep here against FaZe at Arlington Major.
What an incredible push there from Optic. It felt that they were playing defensive the entire overtime round, but if you give them an inch, you give them one opportunity. This Optic Gaming roster can run away with it, and we saw Formal running away with the flag like it was nothing. You blink and you miss it, but Formal and the rest of Optic Gaming will be able to compete for this championship here tonight.
Their run is not over, however, FaZe, what a showing this weekend. They had bouts of greatness, and they just ran into a wall, exactly the green wall, twice.
Never easy to defend your championship, Dave. I know you have plenty of experience doing that.
Some of the times it was easy, but granted, there's a lot of times it wasn't.
You were playing T-squared for half of those, okay? I love you, squared. But let's be honest, when you come into you go into a 6-month break, you have a target on your back at all times. Everyone looking at what you're doing, how do we beat that? Optic Gaming having to sit on that loss in the grand finals of Worlds last year, the way they lost. 2 best-of-7s after winning the first 2 games in the first series that had to eat at them. They even made a team change after being world champions the previous year with APG and the run that they had for so long. And Optic Gaming, with that team change, Deadzone, the newly acquired player, I mean, he's playing his ass off out there, and this Optic Gaming team is gonna come for vengeance come this grand finals.
You see a different style, you see a different player. all comes down to this next matchup. Optic, who said they had to fight so hard for this game. So many close games there during this last series.
Yeah, I mean, an unbelievable 3 games from Optic Gaming's FaZe, just not enough to get the job done here this weekend. We know they'll be back. We know how big of champions they are, and as we take a look at the series layout from the elimination finals, Dave, I mean, 2-1, 50-47, 3-2. The margins of victory could not have been any slimmer. I mean, a couple of kills in the Slayer, maybe, but
yeah,
outside
it's
of that,
essentially flipping a coin 3 times. I mean, arguably, game 1 wasn't flipping a coin. You saw Optic destroying that second hill, or that third hill.
It felt like they were in control.
And they were definitely in control, but games 2 and 3, I mean, that fight goes a little different. That flag moves a little faster, like you said, from FaZe's side. You know they're going to go back to the drawing board and say, where were we not being efficient enough? Where did we mess up? Because the winner's opportunity were there. You just didn't see the players go through fully.
Opportunity was there. It was not seized by the former world champs. Oh, that's going to do it for us, Dave. I need a break. I need a towel. I'm throwing this back to Lot and the boys on the desk. You guys can break this down.